You take amlodipine every day, but your blood pressure is still high. It happens to so many adults over 60, and most of the time, it's not because the medicine stopped working, it's because your body has changed. Today, I'll show you 6 early signs amlodipine isn't responding the way it should, and what you can do right now to steady your numbers again. If your morning readings keep running high, if you feel pressure in your head even on the right dose, or you sense the medication just isn't as strong as before, you are not doing anything wrong. After 60, arteries stiffen, absorption slows, and everyday foods or medicines can quietly weaken amlodipine without you noticing. Knowing these 6 signs early can help you prevent silent blood pressure spikes, avoid unnecessary dose increases, and understand when it's time to call your doctor for an adjustment. If you or someone you love take amlodipine, this video could truly help you stay safer and more in control of your blood pressure. Welcome to MedDose Explained, where we help adults over 60 understand their medications clearly and use them safely. This video is educational and not medical advice. Now, let's begin with the first warning sign. Sign number 1. Your morning blood pressure stays high, even when you take amlodipine every day. Morning numbers tell a very important story. If your systolic pressure, the top number, stays above 140 most mornings, or if your readings jump around with no clear pattern, that's a strong sign your body isn't responding to the medication the way it used to. Why does this happen? Especially after 60. It comes down to one major change: arterial stiffness. As we age, our arteries slowly lose their elasticity. They're not as flexible, they don't expand and relax as easily, and that makes it much harder for amlodipine to open them up the way it did before. Amlodipine works by gently relaxing the arteries, but when the arteries are stiff, almost like old rubber tubing, the medication can't lower the pressure as effectively, so the numbers stay high, especially first thing in the morning. You may notice your readings are fine at night, but higher the moment you wake up. Or you might feel that slight pressure in your head, even though you didn't miss any doses. These are early signals that the medication isn't overcoming the resistance inside your arteries and that your treatment plan may need an adjustment. But this doesn't mean the medicine failed. It simply means your body changed, and now your medication routine may need to change with it. Now let's move on to sign number 2. Sign number 2. You start noticing head pressure, dizziness, or brief vision changes again. These symptoms often disappear when amlodipine works properly, so when they come back, especially after age 60, it's a signal your blood pressure isn't being controlled as well as it should be. Let's talk about why this happens. Sometimes the issue isn't that the dose is too low, it's that your body is processing the medication too quickly. And this becomes more common with age. Some older adults have a variation in the CYP3A4 enzyme, the enzyme that breaks down amlodipine in the liver. If your body clears the medication faster than expected, the effect doesn't last the full 24 hours. So, toward the end of the dosing cycle, your blood pressure quietly rises again. That rise is what causes pressure in your head, mild dizziness when you stand, or vision that goes fuzzy for a moment. Another reason? Absorption changes. After 60, the stomach empties more slowly, and medications don't absorb as consistently. So, even though you take amlodipine the same way every day, your body may not be absorbing it the same way. And there's one more pattern many seniors report. I feel fine in the afternoon, but the symptoms return at night or first thing in the morning. This late cycle breakthrough is a textbook sign that the medication isn't lasting long enough inside your system. None of this means you're doing anything wrong. It simply means your body's metabolism and absorption have shifted with age, and amlodipine may no longer be covering the full 24 hours. Now, let's move on to sign number 3.
Sign number 3. Your amlodipine doesn't seem to last the full 24 hours anymore. Maybe you take it in the morning, and by nighttime your blood pressure starts creeping back up. Or you wake up and your very first reading is already high, even though you never missed a dose. This is one of the most common reasons older adults feel like amlodipine is not working anymore. Let's talk about why this happens. As we age, the way our body absorbs and uses medication changes. Some people over 60 begin absorbing amlodipine more slowly, and others begin metabolizing it faster because of differences in the CYP3A4 enzyme. When this happens, the medication may still work, but it doesn't maintain a smooth, steady effect for a full day. So instead of a gentle, even 24-hour coverage, you get peaks and valleys. A peak in the afternoon and a valley late at night, or first thing in the morning. These valleys are when your readings jump back up, your heart feels like it's working harder, or that familiar heaviness returns in your head. There's also another subtle cause: inconsistent absorption. Changes in stomach emptying, meal timing, or other medications can make amlodipine hit your bloodstream at different speeds each day. This creates unpredictable control, which feels like the medication is fading early. And here's the important part. This does not mean amlodipine has failed. It simply means your body is handling the medication differently than before, and the timing or dose may need to be adjusted. Now, let's move on to sign number 4, something that surprises many people and is one of the biggest reasons amlodipine loses effectiveness. Sign number 4. Something you're taking, even something over the counter, is quietly blocking amlodipine's effect. This one surprises a lot of people, because the problem often isn't the amlodipine itself, it's what you take with it. Let's walk through the most common blockers. First, NSAIDs. Medicines like ibuprofen, naproxen, or diclofenac. Many seniors take them for joint pain, but they can raise blood pressure and cancel out part of amlodipine's effect. Second, decongestants. Cold and sinus pills, especially anything with pseudoephedrine, can tighten your arteries, the exact opposite of what amlodipine tries to do. Third, CYP3A4 inducers. These are medications or supplements that make your liver break down amlodipine too fast. That means it doesn't stay in your system long enough, so your blood pressure rises before the next dose. The common culprits? St. John's wort, certain seizure medications, and some antibiotics like rifampin. Fourth, grapefruit products. Most people don't know this, but grapefruit can raise amlodipine levels unpredictably. For some, it causes swelling. For others, their doctor lowers the dose, and then the lower dose no longer controls their numbers. So the medication seems weaker when the real issue was the interaction. And finally, herbal supplements. Ginseng, licorice, and several blood pressure support herbs can shift your pressure up or down and interfere with how your arteries respond to medication. If your blood pressure suddenly becomes harder to control and nothing else has changed, this is one of the first things to look at. What new medicine, supplement, or over-the-counter product did you start? Because even one small change can make amlodipine seem like it's no longer working. Now, let's move on to sign number 5. Something many seniors never connect to amlodipine, but it plays a huge role in how well your blood pressure stabilizes. Sign number 5. Your swelling gets worse, but your blood pressure still stays high.
This combination confuses a lot of people, because most seniors think, if my feet are swelling, the amlodipine must be too strong. But actually, the opposite is often true. Let's break it down slowly. Amlodipine relaxes your arteries, especially the small vessels that carry blood into your tissues. When these vessels open more than your veins can handle, fluid shifts outward, and your ankles or feet begin to swell. That's the swelling. But swelling alone doesn't mean your blood pressure is controlled. After 60, your arteries stiffen, your volume regulation changes, and your body may retain more sodium than before. So even with swelling, your blood pressure can still stay elevated. Here's the key sign. If you develop swelling, but your home readings are still above your target, usually above 130/80 for most adults, amlodipine may not be relaxing the deeper, stiffer arteries that truly control your blood pressure. You feel the side effect, but you don't get the benefit. Another clue? You start swelling at a lower dose than before, or swelling appears even though your pressure is still high. That's a signal the medication is acting mostly in the outer vessels, not in the central arteries where it matters most. Some seniors describe it like this. My ankles got puffier, but my numbers barely moved. That's a classic sign that the medication is losing its effectiveness, or that your body isn't responding the same way anymore. The good news is, your doctor can often fix this quickly by adjusting your dose, changing the timing, or adding a second medication that works in a different pathway. Now, let's move on to sign number 6, and this one is one of the most important to catch early. Sign number 6. You suddenly need a second medication just to keep your blood pressure in a safe range. For many adults over 60, this is the moment they realize amlodipine is no longer doing the full job on its own. Here's what usually happens. You've been on amlodipine for years. It worked well. Your numbers were stable. And then, slowly, your readings start to climb again. Maybe 10 points, maybe 15, sometimes more. Your doctor checks your home readings and decides to add something like Losartan or a water pill or another medication to support what amlodipine can't do anymore. This isn't a failure. It's physiology. As we age, the arteries responsible for long-term blood pressure control become stiffer and thicker. Amlodipine can relax the surface-level vessels well, but it can't overcome deep arterial stiffness by itself. So your doctor adds an ARB like Losartan to relax the post-capillary side, or adds a low-dose diuretic to help your body release extra sodium and fluid. Together, these medications restore the balance your body can't maintain on its own anymore. If you needed only amlodipine before, but now require a second drug to keep your numbers steady, it's one of the clearest signs your response to amlodipine has changed with age. And here's the part most people don't realize. Needing a second medication often protects you, reducing morning spikes, reducing swelling, and keeping your heart and kidneys safer over time. So, if your doctor recently added another blood pressure pill, it's not a setback. It's a sign your treatment is being adjusted to match what your body needs now. Now, let's bring everything together and talk about what you should do next if any of these signs sound familiar. Now, if any of these signs feel familiar, don't ignore them. They're your body's way of saying your medication plan may need an update. The next step is simple. Start checking your blood pressure more consistently, especially in the morning and again in the evening. Write down your readings and note any swelling, dizziness, headaches, or days when your numbers jump without a clear reason. These details give your doctor exactly what they need to adjust your treatment safely. And here's when you should call your doctor. If your morning numbers stay above 140 systolic, if you feel new or worsening dizziness, if swelling keeps getting worse, or if you recently added a new medication and your blood pressure suddenly became harder to control. Early adjustments prevent bigger problems later. If you want to understand your blood pressure medications more clearly and safely, I've put together a full playlist with the most important videos for adults over 60. You'll find it right here on your screen. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please give it a like and subscribe to MedDose Explained so you don't miss the next update. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.